Top 25 Montessori Teacher Interview Questions and Answers. Becoming a Montessori teacher requires a deep understanding of child-led learning, observation skills, and a nurturing mindset. In this video, we will explore the top 25 Montessori teacher interview questions along with well-structured answers to help you confidently prepare. These questions assess your philosophy, teaching style, classroom management, and ability to guide independent learning. By reviewing these answers, you will be able to present yourself as a thoughtful, trained, and effective Montessori educator. 1. Why do you want to be a Montessori teacher? I want to be a Montessori teacher because I strongly believe in child-centered education, where each child learns at their own pace through exploration and independence. The Montessori approach encourages curiosity, creativity, and problem-solving, qualities I value deeply. I enjoy guiding children rather than directing them, allowing them to take ownership of their learning. Watching students grow confidently through hands-on activities is incredibly rewarding. I am passionate about helping children develop life skills, emotional intelligence, and respect for others. This method aligns perfectly with my teaching philosophy and long-term goals in early childhood education. 2. What is your understanding of the Montessori philosophy? The Montessori philosophy emphasizes independence, freedom within limits, and respect for a child's natural development. It views children as active learners who thrive in a prepared environment where materials are designed to encourage hands-on exploration. Teachers act as guides, observing student needs and providing support rather than direct instruction. The philosophy also stresses mixed-age classrooms, peer learning, and individualized pacing. It fosters concentration, intrinsic motivation, and responsible decision-making. To me, Montessori education is about nurturing the whole child, social, emotional, physical, and cognitive, so they grow into confident, responsible, and self-disciplined individuals. This holistic approach inspires my teaching style. 3. How you handle a child who refuses to follow classroom rules. I handle rule-related refusals by first observing the child to understand the root cause, whether it's confusion, frustration, or a need for attention. I calmly restate expectations and guide the child toward appropriate choices. Instead of punishment, I use redirection, positive reinforcement, and clear, consistent boundaries. I also ensure rules are modeled through everyday routines and respectful communication. If needed, I involve the child in problem-solving discussions to help them understand consequences. My goal is to teach self-discipline, not compliance through fear. Ultimately, I work to build trust, ensuring the child feels safe, understood, and supported in the classroom. 4. How do you encourage independence in young learners? Encouraging independence starts with creating a prepared environment where materials are accessible and activities promote self-help skills. I demonstrate tasks slowly and clearly, then allow children time to practice on their own. I avoid unnecessary assistance, offering help only when truly needed. I also use language that supports independence, such as, "You can try first," or "What do you think should happen next?" Routine tasks like cleaning, pouring, dressing, and organizing materials help learners build confidence. By fostering responsibility, trust, and patience, I help students become self-reliant and intrinsically motivated to explore and solve problems independently. 5. How do you observe children in the Montessori classroom? Observation is essential for understanding each child's progress, interests, and developmental needs. I observe discreetly without interrupting their concentration, noting how they interact with materials, peers, and the environment. I document behaviors, strengths, challenges, and emerging skills to guide future lesson planning. Observations help me identify sensitive periods and adjust the environment accordingly. They also reveal when a child is ready for a new lesson or when they need repetition. Through systematic observation, I develop a deeper understanding of each learner and ensure my teaching supports their natural developmental path in a meaningful and individualized way. 6. What does freedom within limits mean to you? Freedom within limits means allowing children the freedom to choose activities, move around, and explore, while maintaining clear boundaries that promote respect and safety. It empowers learners to make decisions and develop responsibility, but within expectations that ensure a peaceful environment. For example, a child is free to work with materials but must return them properly afterward. This balance encourages independence without chaos. To me, it reflects trust in a child's ability to learn, while providing the structure needed to support meaningful exploration. It helps students become confident, self-disciplined, and aware of their responsibilities within the community. 7. How do you prepare a Montessori classroom environment? Preparing the environment involves organizing materials neatly, ensuring accessibility, and creating a peaceful, aesthetically pleasing space that invites exploration. I set up hands-on, self-correcting materials that match developmental stages and sensitive periods. The classroom includes practical life, sensorial, math, language, and cultural areas, each designed for independent learning. I ensure shelves are uncluttered, child-sized furniture is used, and everything has a defined purpose. I also rotate materials based on observations and introduce new activities to sustain engagement. The environment should foster concentration, independence, and responsibility, creating a calm space where children feel empowered to explore freely. 8. How do you handle conflict between children? When conflict arises, I step in calmly and guide children through peaceful resolution. I encourage them to express their feelings respectfully and listen to each other. I help them identify the root issue and explore solutions that support fairness and empathy. Instead of imposing decisions, I guide them in problem solving, so they develop communication and social skills. I also reinforce grace and courtesy lessons regularly, ensuring children understand respect and cooperation. My goal is to teach emotional regulation, conflict resolution strategies, and compassionate behavior. Over time, this approach builds strong relationships and a harmonious classroom environment. 9. What is the role of a Montessori teacher? The role of a Montessori teacher is to act as a guide, observer, and facilitator rather than a traditional instructor. I prepare the environment, present lessons, model respectful behavior, and support each child's natural development. My job is to observe learning patterns, introduce materials at the right time, and step back to allow independent exploration. I also promote social skills, encourage curiosity, and support problem solving. The Montessori teacher maintains order through calm leadership, not authority. Ultimately, my role is to nurture the whole child, emotionally, socially, and academically, so they thrive in a self-directed learning environment. 10. How do you introduce new materials to students? I introduce new materials through carefully planned demonstrations that are slow, precise, and engaging. I show each step clearly without unnecessary words, allowing the child to focus on the process. After demonstrating, I invite the child to explore the material independently. I avoid correcting mistakes immediately, giving them space to self-discover and use the material naturally. I observe how they interact and offer guidance only when needed. By presenting materials at the right developmental stage and in the right sequence, I ensure children feel confident and motivated to learn through hands-on exploration. 11. How do you support children with different learning paces? Montessori classrooms naturally support varied learning paces because the environment is structured for individualized progress. I observe each child to understand their strengths, challenges, and interests. I introduce lessons based on readiness rather than age or schedule. For children who need more time, I offer targeted practice and gentle encouragement. For advanced learners, I introduce extensions and more complex materials to maintain engagement. The goal is to ensure every child feels successful without pressure or comparison. I celebrate progress, not speed, and create a supportive atmosphere where each learner can grow confidently at their own pace. 12. How do you communicate with parents? I communicate openly and respectfully with parents through regular meetings, progress reports, and daily check-ins when needed. I share observations about their child development, strengths, and areas for growth, along with practical suggestions for home activities. I value parents as partners in the learning process and encourage them to ask questions or share concerns. I maintain professionalism, confidentiality, and empathy at all times. My communication focuses on supporting the child holistically, ensuring consistency between school and home. Building trust with parents helps create a strong collaborative relationship that positively impacts the child's overall development. 13. How do you keep students engaged during lessons? I keep students engaged by offering hands-on, purposeful activities that match their developmental needs and interests. I present lessons when children show readiness and ensure they have enough time for uninterrupted exploration. I rotate materials to maintain curiosity and provide variety. I also integrate real-life tasks that capture natural interest, such as pouring, sorting, or nature activities. My tone remains calm and encouraging, allowing learning to evolve naturally. I avoid forcing participation. Instead, I invite engagement through inspiration. When children feel respected and curious, they become intrinsically motivated and remain deeply engaged in the learning process. 14. How do you handle children who struggle with concentration? For children who struggle with concentration, I focus on observing triggers and understanding their developmental needs. I offer hands-on tasks with clear steps that help build focus gradually. Practical life activities such as pouring, sweeping, or threading are especially effective for increasing concentration. I create a calm environment with minimal distractions and provide gentle reminders. I avoid pressure and instead encourage small victories that build confidence. I also allow movement breaks when necessary. Over time, consistent routines and meaningful activities help children develop longer attention spans and naturally strengthen their ability to concentrate. 15. Why are practical life activities important? Practical life activities are crucial because they build independence, coordination, concentration, and confidence. They involve real-life tasks such as pouring, dressing, cleaning, and food preparation, which children genuinely enjoy and find meaningful. These activities help children develop fine motor skills, responsibility, and respect for their environment. They also prepare the foundation for academic learning by strengthening order, sequencing, and self-control. Through practical life work, children learn to take pride in their abilities and contribute to the classroom community. This area supports holistic growth and is essential for fostering capable, self-reliant learners. 16. How do you support emotional development in children? I support emotional development by modeling calm communication, acknowledging feelings, and guiding children in expressing emotions respectfully. I create an environment where children feel safe, sharing their thoughts without fear of judgment. I teach emotional vocabulary, use social stories, and incorporate grace and courtesy lessons. During conflict or frustration, I help children identify their feelings and explore strategies like deep breathing or problem solving. I focus on empathy, kindness, and respect in everyday interactions. By providing consistent guidance and emotional support, I help children develop self-regulation, resilience, and strong interpersonal skills. 17. How do you handle a child who misuses Montessori materials? When a child misuses materials, I observe, first understand whether they are bored, curious, or unaware of proper use. I gently remind them of the material's purpose and re-demonstrate, if needed. If misuse continues, I redirect them to another activity that better matches their needs or energy level. I avoid scolding, focusing instead on teaching respect and responsibility. Materials are designed for purposeful learning, so helping children understand their value is essential. Through patience, guidance, and observation, I ensure materials are used correctly while supporting the child's developmental needs. 18. How do you integrate Montessori principles with modern learning needs? I integrate Montessori principles with modern needs by blending hands-on materials with thoughtfully selected technology when appropriate. I prioritize core Montessori values like independence, observation, and self-paced learning while incorporating contemporary skills such as digital literacy, collaboration, and critical thinking. I ensure technology enhances, not replaces, experiential learning. I also include environmental awareness, cultural studies, and real-life problem-solving in lessons. My goal is to prepare children for today's world without compromising Montessori's timeless philosophy. This balanced approach allows learners to develop a strong academic foundation alongside modern world competencies. 19. What strategies do you use for classroom management? My classroom management relies on clear expectations, consistent routines, and mutual respect. I create a peaceful environment where children feel responsible and valued. I use positive reinforcement, gentle redirection, and grace and courtesy lessons to build respectful behavior. By offering meaningful work, I prevent boredom and misbehavior. I also rely on observation to understand behavioral patterns and intervene appropriately. I avoid punishment and instead use natural consequences and problem-solving discussions. Effective management in Montessori classrooms comes from trust, structure, and a well-prepared environment that encourages independence and cooperation. 20. How do you differentiate learning in the Montessori classroom? I differentiate learning by observing each child closely and adjusting lessons based on readiness, interest, and developmental stage. Montessori materials naturally support differentiation because they are self-correcting and adaptable. I offer extensions for advanced learners and simplified steps for those needing more practice. I also adjust pacing, provide one-on-one guidance, and encourage peer learning in mixed age groups. Rather than pushing children toward uniform outcomes, I help each learner grow at their own pace. This approach ensures meaningful progress for every child while maintaining the integrity of the Montessori philosophy. 21. How do you assess progress in the Montessori classroom? Assessment in Montessori classrooms focuses on observation, documentation, and mastery of skills rather than tests or grades. I regularly observe how children use materials, solve problems, and interact socially. I document milestone challenges and developmental patterns to guide future lessons. Progress is assessed through repeated work, independence, accuracy, and confidence. I also use checklists aligned with Montessori curriculum areas to track development. Communication with parents includes sharing examples of work and observations. This holistic assessment approach ensures a clear understanding of each child's growth while respecting their unique learning journey. 22. How do you ensure your classroom supports social development? I support social development by creating opportunities for collaboration, peer learning, and respectful communication. Mixed-age groups naturally encourage leadership, mentorship, and cooperation. I incorporate grace and courtesy lessons to help children practice manners, empathy, and problem-solving. During conflicts, I guide them through peaceful resolution methods. Group activities like cooking, gardening, or cultural celebrations foster teamwork and community building. I model kindness and inclusivity, ensuring every child feels valued. These experiences help children build strong social skills, emotional intelligence, and a sense of belonging within the classroom community. 23. How would you support a child who is new to the Montessori environment? For a new child, I prioritize building trust and helping them feel safe. I give them a gentle tour of the environment and introduce simple practical life activities to ease their transition. I pair them with kind peers who model routines. I observe their comfort level and avoid overwhelming them with too many lessons at once. I communicate closely with parents to understand the child's background and needs. Over time, I gradually introduce new materials and encourage independence. My goal is to help the child feel confident, welcomed, and engaged in their new learning environment. 24. How do you support language development in Montessori? Language development is supported through rich conversation, storytelling, phonetic activities, vocabulary lessons, and hands-on materials. I use sandpaper letters, sound games, object classification, and movable alphabet work to strengthen phonetic awareness. I encourage children to express themselves through discussions, reading time, and journaling when developmentally appropriate. I model clear language, introduce new vocabulary naturally, and create opportunities for children to communicate confidently. I also integrate cultural stories, poetry, and nature-based learning to expand language experiences. This multi-sensory and immersive approach nurtures strong communication skills and a love for language. 25. Why should we hire you as a Montessori teacher? You should hire me because I am deeply committed to Montessori principles and passionate about supporting child-centered learning. I bring strong skills in observation, classroom preparation, and individualized teaching. I create peaceful, nurturing environments where children feel respected, confident, and motivated. My experience with hands-on materials and mixed-age classrooms allows me to guide learners effectively. I communicate well with parents, collaborate with colleagues, and maintain professionalism. I am dedicated, patient, and eager to contribute positively to your school community while helping children develop independence, creativity, and lifelong learning skills. Thank you for exploring these top 25 Montessori teacher interview questions and answers. Preparing with these responses will help you confidently express your knowledge, teaching style, and understanding of Montessori principles. Remember, Montessori education is built on respect, independence, and a deep trust in each child's potential. With the right preparation, you can present yourself as a compassionate and skilled educator ready to make a meaningful impact in any Montessori classroom.